Welcome to the SDA Housing Podcast, brought to you by NDIS Property Australia. Before starting this episode, we need to provide a general disclaimer. Information contained in this podcast is general in nature only. It does not take into account the objectives, financial situation, or needs of any particular person. You need to consider your financial situation and needs before making any decisions based on the information in this podcast. And you should consider seeking independent and professional advice for your personal circumstances. All right, let's begin.
Hello everybody, my name is Minh and I'm here with Eryn, and we are your hosts today from NDIS Property Australia here in Brisbane, and you're listening to the SDA Housing Podcast, a show that explains, highlights, guides and brings awareness about all things SDA in this ever-changing NDIS world. Today's exciting topic is with Tom Melbourne, the girls from Tom Melbourne in Melbourne. Say hello, girls.
Hi everyone.
Hi team.
Eryn, you want to introduce them?
Sure thing. So we've got Alison, Monique and Kumari here. I believe, Kumari, you're doing the introduction section. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
So do you just want to tell us a little bit about what Tom is, what you do over there?
Sure. So Tom Melbourne is a not-for-profit organisation. Essentially, we create and build products for assistive technology for people with disability, where there's no current or existing solution in the market. I'll pause there for a second just to introduce the team. So I'm Kumari Fernando. I'm the General Manager at Tom. We've got Alison and Monique, who I'll hand over to introduce themselves. Alison, do you want to just give a brief intro?
Hi everyone, I'm Alison von Moga and I'm the Innovation and Technology Lead. So I run the Tom at University programs as well as looking at the product side of things, developing the products that come out of our programs further.
And I'm Monique Lawty, the Technology and Events Coordinator at Tom Melbourne. My main responsibility is the Makeathon program, which is an exciting program of ours, which I'll go into a bit more detail of later on.
Yeah, and so really our goal is to make assistive technology which is accessible and affordable for people with disability. Our vision is really a world in which innovation and technology allows access to assistive technology for all, basically. TOM stands for Tikkun Olam Makers. Tikkun Olam is a Hebrew term which broadly, there are a few different meanings, but broadly it means repairing the world, or how we as individuals make an impact in the world. Leave the place better than where you found it. We're part of Tom Global, which comprises over 70 Tom communities around the world in over 25 countries. And really how we started at Tom Melbourne, our founder and director, Debbie Dadon, was overseas and was invited to attend a Tom Makeathon. And so she attended and really saw firsthand the power of bringing people who have skills, engineering, industrial design, occupational therapy, tinkerers together with a group of individuals that have an unmet need, and how bringing those two groups together to work in a co-design capacity to design and build assistive technology, really the power of that, and wanted to bring that experience to Melbourne and to Australia. And so Tom Melbourne was launched in 2015. And here we are today.
Oh, awesome. So I didn't even know that you guys were global. I thought that you were just Melbourne, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. So we get to interact with Tom Global. That's based. We've got there's part of the organisation is based in New York, part is in Israel. So we get to communicate with them about what's going on globally. And this year we're lucky in that we'll be working with one of the Tom communities in Bundaberg on the Makeathon later in the year. But we'll discuss that a bit later. But so it's wonderful. I think in the future, when we all connect a little bit more and we're able to share ideas and learnings and assistive technology products, that's when we're really looking to assist as many people around the world as possible.
Yeah, amazing. Do you want to talk a little bit about the programs and services that you offer at Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. So we run a variety of programs and events. So I'll start with the Makeathon, which is it's our signature event, which brings together need knowers. So a need knower in Tom terminology is an individual with lived experience of disability, their families, their supporters. Bring that group together with a group of individuals which have like skills related to engineering, design, technology, bring those two groups together to co-design assistive technology. So that's I think Monique will talk a little bit more about that later, but that's one of our events. And after we launched that in 2016 in Melbourne, there was a real sort of understanding that, look, there's an opportunity here in terms of education. So the Tom at University program was launched. And really it works on a similar concept. It brings need knowers together with students that are studying in the areas of engineering, design, and occupational therapy, and brings them together to build assistive technology. And then I guess we looked further back. Well, our board at the time looked back and saw there was a gap in terms of students in primary and secondary schools actually taking on STEM studies. And so the Tom at Schools program was launched, and they're custom-built programs that really promote disability awareness, STEM education, and career paths into jobs of the future. So that's the broad brush of the programs and events we run.
Yeah, well, I'm a STEM person. I'm studying STEM at uni, so I love that. It's really awesome.
Wonderful. You should come and join us, Eryn.
Yeah, Eryn, we can get you on board as a maker.
Yeah, come on.
I'm being poached, Min. I'm being poached from you.
Yeah, no, you can come and volunteer as a maker. We love you.
You can have her. She's a vegan. We don't want her anyway.
I guess we'll go on to the assistive technology, which I believe, Alison, you're talking about. Do you just want to tell us about the assistive technology you create, sort of some examples maybe as well?
Yeah, so we work on a pretty broad range of different assistive technology solutions. We often get asked what sort of disabilities we focus on, and we're open to any sorts of disabilities. Anyone can come and apply to be involved, and we'll try to work on a solution for them. So usually they're physical solutions, although we have been involved in some digital solutions as well. So we've got a few examples to talk about that I suppose cross over into the housing and kind of area. So the first one is a universal bottle pourer for a lady who is a quadruple amputee, and she wanted a way of being able to independently pour a drink for herself. So this was a Makeathon challenge, and so the Makeathon team that she was working together with, they came up with an automated device that could hold a bottle, and then she could press a button and it tipped over to pour a drink for her. So it's a very simple activity, but giving her that independence makes such a big difference to
our listeners out there. If you want to understand more the imagery or the products that Alison's talking about, go to the website tommelbourne.org/prototypes, and you will see the image of the universal bottle pourer with the participant using it there. So that's the best way to visualize for our listeners to see what the prototypes or the products are. So sorry about that, Alison.
That's okay. So all the examples that I'm talking about today are on our website, so you'll be able to see them there. Another thing that I'll point out is that we focus on solutions that are not available currently in the marketplace, or are inaccessible or not affordable. So that's where there's basically an unmet need is where we'll focus. Another one of the examples that I wanted to talk about today is a project for sensory play pods. There were two sisters aged 6 and 8 who have a rare genetic condition that resulted in a range of complex needs. But the parents wanted a solution to allow them to play safely and independently when they woke up early in the morning, and allow their parents to give them have a bit more uninterrupted rest. So the Makeathon team came up with a solution of a play pod that was sort of like a circular structure that, I suppose, in a cocooning form that the girls could enter, and inside there were interchangeable panels that had different activities that would engage them. You could swap them out, and if they got bored of something or want to add something else, and could also facilitate their parents being able to monitor them remotely, and had a dock for their iPad. So, really made such a big difference to their lives, just giving their parents a bit of extra rest and having kind of an educational and stimulating solution to engage the girls in the mornings.
That's really awesome. I really like that.
Yeah. It looks really cool too if you want to have a look at it. And then the last one was for a lady who is living with the effects of thalidomide and needed a custom exercise solution so that she could maintain her fitness in an enjoyable way that was suited to her body and ability. So the Makeathon team, which included a physio, they came up with a solution that was a platform solution that had different moving parts that she could engage with, and so that to allow her to have a full body workout and exercise in a safe way, that again, I suppose, gives her that independence to exercise by herself and do it in a way that suits her needs. And I think that's a theme that we often see with the projects. Giving people independence is a really such a big thing that's so important for people.
That's awesome. Just awesome. I don't have any other words. It's just so cool.
It was very hard for me to understand when I spoke to Monique a few months ago. How does this all work with Tom? And it took me a while to realise that the Makeathons are all about producing one-off items per participant. So it's just changing the lives of one person at a time. And I thought this is a wonderful way for you guys to be a brand out there to helping participants in the marketplace who just need some form of help that they don't have at the moment. And what you guys are doing are wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And this is the reason why we've been trying to get you on to our podcast for a while now, to learn more about what you guys do, and Monique?
Yeah, I was just going to add, we've got some pretty awesome solutions, but I wish we could take credit for these awesome solutions, but it's not us. It's not the Tom team. It's a diverse group of makers and people who are really passionate about using their skills for the better and making an impact on those, on people with disability and helping to improve their lives for the better. So even though we talk about all these solutions, we didn't come up with these themselves, although we helped facilitate the programs and events that made these happen. It's really the Tom community of makers and people that come together that participate in these events that make it happen.
And hence the term open source, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you please explain what that means to our listeners?
Sure. So open source is effectively open and accessible for anyone to access. So all of the designs and solutions that are developed through any of the Tom programs get published online through our website and also the Tom Global website. So every Tom solution that's been developed all around the world is available for anyone to download and have a look at, and then ultimately potentially get those designs sent to someone who can make that solution for someone. That's the idea, that anyone can access these designs and have that solution made for them wherever they are around the world.
That's fantastic.
So obviously you gave us some examples there, Alison, of products that have been made and how they've helped the particular users of those products. But overall, how do the products that you create or that are created through your events help users? Do you have any stories of people who have maybe not come to the events and then have had something created and been like, oh, that could actually really help me?
So one of our goals is not only to help people who come to the events, but often the the needs and challenges that we work on are applicable to other people too. So one of our goals is to try and develop the designs that come out of our programs further into actual products that we can make available to the broader community. So that's part of my role as well. So what we'd like to be able to provide is someone comes along to our website with a need and then can order a product from us. So we're in the process of developing how we can do that and, coming up with ways that we can manufacture products and make sure that they're reliable and robust and fundamentally meeting the needs of the community and the people we work with.
Yeah, because obviously you've made things for individual people and that's really helped them. But I just think that, there's things that people might not even have thought of or have been like, oh, this is so annoying that there's nothing to help me. But it's there. It just needs the ability to be mass produced in a way.
Absolutely. And, so we talk about products for individuals. We're also broadening our approach and inviting organisations that identify a need that will be useful for a number of people in the community. And we're asking them also to put up challenges for our programs and events. And so the idea is that, by producing one at one of these events, we know that there is a need out there that will be supported by the manufacture of more. So we're looking at that approach as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just think that there's so many things that could, if we can just get your name out there, people could find so many solutions that could just really, really help them. And I just think it's so awesome what you guys are doing. It's just really fantastic.
Oh, thanks, Eryn. And, we recently went to some of the expos where I believe we met you, Monique met Minh, is that correct? And that's where this relationship started. But we found that, the need in the community, people come to us and talk to us about challenges that they face on a day-to-day basis that there is just no solution for in the market. And some of the things that are talked about are, you think that there will be a product out there to meet that need, but it's, time and time again, we are stunned by the fact that there is nothing in the market to assist that individual to, access a more independent life, be able to do things, socially and economically participate. And so really that is the idea, is that we're engaging more and more people, makers and need knowers, that will enable these prototypes and products to be created that will not only assist them, but hopefully many more people in the community as well.
Yeah. I guess with the assistive technology that's being created, how do you think that could be applied in an SDA home?
So I think there's an opportunity for our solutions to be incorporated into the build of the home. For instance, we've worked on a wheelchair wheel cleaning device. So you could incorporate solutions such as this into a purpose-built space. But there's also opportunities for SDA home designers and providers and contractors to come to Tom with a particular challenge in mind that we could work with them to and the volunteers and the community we work with to come up with a solution that could be purpose-built for the home.
Yeah. You want to go in?
Do you mind if I read a section of your website just to give our listeners a bit more understanding about the Makeathon program? The Tom Melbourne Makeathon is traditionally a weekend marathon of making, this time combining a mix of online and face-to-face sessions. The Makeathon will take place over a number of sessions. We work with people with disability who have a specific need, called need knowers, and connect them with diverse groups of professionals, including engineers, industrial designers, health professionals, and tradespeople, called makers. Together, they design and build products that solve a complex problem and improve the everyday life of the need knower. Recent prototypes include robotic arms, powered crutches, wheelchair wheel cleaners, and bespoke exercise machines. The intellectual property for every product is then shared through the open source digital files so that others can replicate or iterate it. There we go. So that now gives our listeners more of a better understanding of the TOM model, of the collaborative work between a wide variety of people who want to contribute to the community and help change one participant's lives at a time, I guess. That's the important thing here. And that's the reason why we wanted to get you on board on our podcast to expose your brand to our network of providers, developers and builders, contributors, and investors to somehow be part of the Makeathon in Melbourne, the TOM schools, the Bundaberg events. So we're in Queensland here and we want to support our local connection there. And if we can do that, then we'd like to definitely call out to our network of people who are listening to this podcast to contribute in some way, yes.
Absolutely. Min, can I bring you on board to help market the Makeathon for me?
Yeah, sure. Sure, no worries at all. Well, we'll have to talk to Debbie and Luba in office to promote that on our social media platforms as well, because we get about 1,000 downloads a month for our podcast. So we want to get exposure of what you guys are doing. And obviously with our builders and developers we work with in Queensland here, we want to get them to be aware of the event in Bundaberg to help out and collaborate as well. So watch your space here for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good segue into, I guess, more details about the Makeathon. So I'm happy to go into that now.
I was just about to ask you to do that. So go, take it away.
Perfect timing. So yes, we do have 2 Makeathon events coming up for the remainder of 2022. So the next one is in September, and that's in Metro Melbourne. So we're hosting that at Monash University in Clayton on the 17th and 18th of September. Applications are currently open. So they'll be closing on the 7th of August. So anyone interested to be a part of the Makeathon as either a maker or a need knower. So if you have a challenge that you'd like to submit, or if you want to lend your skills to help be a part of the making team, applications are currently open for that. And our next Makeathon is going to be in November. So that will be across both Bundaberg in Queensland as well as Geelong in Victoria. So communities in both of those areas should keep an eye out on our website or our social media pages for news about that. And we'll be opening applications for that later on in this year. So stay tuned and watch this space.
If you're a listener and you are a engineer or builder or designer or a health professional and would love to contribute to the Bundaberg Makeathon event, please submit your details to Eryn in the office or the girls down at TOM Melbourne. And our business here, NDIS Property Australia, would love to contribute some resources to fund the flights and hotel accommodation costs for people from Brisbane to go up to Bundaberg to be part of that Makeathon as well. So we want to contribute to that event as well in that way, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Min and Eryn. We really appreciate that support. So thank you so much.
And just to also add about all the Makeathon programs, and I guess all of our programs at TOM in more broadly, they're all free to participate in. So there's no cost associated to participate in the program. The idea being that from the need knower perspective, ideally you get a working prototype by the end of the Makeathon weekend. Yeah. So we hope to solve the challenge that people come to us with. And obviously just for the makers, it's about lending your skills and expertise to really make an impact for others.
Yeah, wow. I guess you've already kind of covered how everyone can get involved in the Makeathon, but are there any other ways that people can support TOM in general other than the Makeathon?
Absolutely. So, we're looking at what we do across our programs and events really as a long-term kind of goal and objective to really, talk about disability awareness, so inclusion, to talk about STEM education, really promoting skills around engineering, maths, science, technology, for students and young people thinking about what they might do into the future. Eryn, I saw so we really want to promote that from the early ages, that children are in school at primary school all the way through to tertiary education and, in the future, careers. So, and looking at ways that we can bring people together to work. A Makeathon event is quite unique. It's wonderful to see people, with different skill sets come together and use their individual expertise to work with a need knower and understand the need, from that person's perspective, and work together to build assistive technology that will assist that individual and then hopefully others. So it's, we're looking at a long-term kind of view across all that we do. And so people can get involved as community partners, people can come on board as sponsors. We're looking at not just individual events, but the whole program pathway as a whole. And people can come and volunteer with us. We love to bring people together to work on solutions around Tikkun Olam, around that concept itself. So please come on board and join us. We'd love to have as many people engaged as possible.
Well, I'll definitely come down for the Makeathon at Monash University in September.
Wonderful.
So we get in Melbourne all the time. So I'll definitely bring along some people who are in the disability sector with us from our side of it all, and try and bring awareness to what you guys are doing. So I will do our definite best to bring awareness to Tom Melbourne, because we are spending a lot of time in Melbourne at the moment down there. Yes.
Thank you so much, Alison.
I just wanted to add in relation to how people can get involved. If people can't attend the Makeathon events, by all means, still get in touch with us if there are particular needs that you have, or someone who has, or you have an understanding of the need, because we can be creative with the ways that we can work with people in the programs that we run. So definitely don't be discouraged about whether or not you can make the particular events.
We do a lot of analysis of numbers in our office, and in Melbourne, what's the population of Melbourne, Victoria, or Melbourne? Melbourne, 4 or 5 million?
Give or take.
Sounds probably about right. We don't have to Google that.
Well, the point is this: there's 120,000 people in Victoria, I think, who are in the NDIS program.
That's correct, yeah.
And of that 120,000, 7,200 are SDA funded to high needs. Of that number, only 700 are living in an SDA dwelling. Okay? That's only 10%. So 90% of the people who are SDA funded are not even living in an SDA funded dwelling.
Right.
So they're living in inappropriate accommodation.
Yes.
And even if they are living in an inappropriate accommodation, they would need some form of assistance living their normal daily lives, which we as everyday human beings take for granted. Getting out of bed, getting changed, cooking, cleaning, going to work, getting around the house. That's normal for us. But for them, who are participants who are disabled and high needs, they have no way to get around and live their normal lives. So if it's not appropriate accommodation for them, as in SDA accommodation, then things like this, that the Makeathon or the Tom Melbourne brand, helping them out with one device, one item that helps them change their lives will make their lives better in some way. And that's the point of Tom. Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Absolutely. So yes, we encourage need knowers, we encourage makers, we encourage supporters to jump onto our website, click our EOI form and get involved with us.
So what's the best way to contact your team? Your phone number or website, please provide.
Yeah, website. So if people get onto tommelbourne.org, that would be the best way to sort of have a broad brush view of what we do. Monique and Alison, do you have a link to the EOI form? I mean, it's available there, no doubt.
Yes.
Yeah, our expression of interest form is on our website, but we can also send that through to Minh and Eryn and the team there for you guys to add to the podcast description, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you add to the bottom of it, but we can add a particular contact form directly to that as well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We'll get Luba in the office to put some promotional material on LinkedIn and Instagram on our preferred partner in Melbourne, Tom Melbourne, about what you guys do and your events coming up. So we want to contribute and be part of it as well. So hopefully Eryn can participate, Can you?
Yes,
Yeah.
we'd love that. Come and participate.
We'd love to have you as a maker at the Makeathon, Eryn.
I study rocks, but I can give it a go.
It's all right. Transferable skills. That's what it's all about.
I have a bit of a impromptu fun question.
Right.
What are your favourite things that have been created at a Makeathon?
That's a great question. All right, who wants to go first?
The first one that comes to mind is the custom exercise device. I reckon just because of not just the effect of that need knower being able to do that activity independently, but also the flow-on effects of exercise more broadly and how much of an impact that has on someone's health and well-being. I'm a big advocate for health and fitness and exercise and how it affects the rest of your day or the rest of your week. So being able to make an impact on that particular single activity and having that have a positive flow-on effect for the rest of that person's day or life I think is really impactful. So that's probably one of the standout solutions that we've made so far.
See, and you bag on me for getting up at 4:30 in the morning and going to the gym every day. Look at that.
I'm all for it, Eryn. I also get up at 4:30 in the morning.
No comment.
Oh dear. Alison.
There was for the Makeathon last year, there was a little boy who has a genetic condition that means that he needed a walker to be mobile, and the walking solution that he had before meant that his arms and hands were constantly kind of holding on to it to support his body. So it meant that he couldn't engage with play and his friends. I wasn't part of this particular event, but just seeing the videos, there's one on our website, and the energy around the team and his family, and it's obvious to see how much they got out of the event and the teamwork and how they all got along. And so I think for those reasons, I would pick that particular solution.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Alison, I agree with you. I was part of that Makeathon, and to see that family, I remember the original prototype that was made, and the young boy's mum was taking a video, and she just had a tear because that was the first time he was standing hands-free in his walker. And really for them, for him, what they wanted was for him to go to the playground and be able to have a lightsaber fight with his friends in the playground. And, he was able to do that. So that was wonderful. But, a dual effect was that he was actually able to build his core by standing independently in this walk without having to hold on to anything. So that was certainly a really wonderful device that was created. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, that was probably a bit more complex, but we had a young man last year who was into everything. I mean, he just was into everything. But one of the things that he did was work in a nursery, and he wanted to be able to independently put on his glove without having to rely on anyone else. So he could go to work in any kind of environmental condition and his hands be protected. But he had to rely on other people to put his gloves on. So his request was to have a device made that would allow him to independently wear his gloves. Anyway, his team worked with him on that, developed this device, and I was in touch with his mum last year and said, he's still using it, he's going to work, he's loving it. So, it can be something complex, it can be something simple, but, it really makes a difference to people's lives to be able to do the things they want to do and participate in the community, participate in social events, and participate in, in the economic sort of, getting jobs and things like that. So, yeah, it's a span. It's a span of products and devices that really make a difference.
Yeah. I think that's about it for my questions. Do you have anything else, Minh?
I would like to say that if you're a listener, you're obviously a potential investor. If you're an investor, you're thinking about social impact, obviously. But then sometimes a lot of people cannot invest in SDA, NDIS housing because the costs are too prohibitive. So there are many ways to have a social impact. And if you can't help out with the production of dwellings for housing, then please consider other ways to contribute to the NDS community. And these are those moments here where we support non-profit organisations like Tom Melbourne. We contribute money, resources, time, charitable efforts to help out, to change someone's life, one at a time. And that is the Tom brand and philosophy. And we want to do our bit ourselves as NDS Property Australia to help out where we can, to spread the word, contribute resources, and bring along other parties who we know want to contribute to your efforts in the community in Melbourne. Yes.
Thank you so much, Minh and Eryn. It's really great to have that support. And, this is our first podcast and you've made it a really wonderful experience for all of us. So thank you so much for the support and the opportunity.
Thank you for talking to us. I think just hearing about the solutions, it's things you don't think about, but then hearing how it's actually changed someone's life, you're like, wow, that's something that I think just anyone would want to get involved in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, when I first spoke to Monique, I said, well, why can't I buy something for someone? She's like, no, you don't buy it. You just got to make it. I said, oh, damn it, I've got to make it. I've got to rock up and make something. Okay, fine.
Yeah, got to put a bit of
You'll
work
be able
in
to see for yourself in September. So we look forward
Ladies, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to promoting your Tom Melbourne brand across our social media platforms and talk to everyone about what you guys do by word of mouth. And I'll definitely see you the next month in Melbourne to take you out for lunch.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please make sure you are subscribed and following us so you can keep in the loop with all of our upcoming episodes. We would really appreciate it if you could leave us a 5-star rating, a written review, and to share this podcast with those that could benefit. Until next time, catch you on the next episode.